All right, welcome to the world of creating artificial intelligent video, AI video generation, right? Content creation, taken to the next level. This form of art is generally new. It's still in its experimental stage, which is fun. This is the fun part, because people get to figure out new things, how to create them, and it's just it's a playing ground, right? So it's just trying to figure it out right now. So I'm fairly new to it, and I wanted to create a video and kind of show you how I structure the description, because you can, in a way, this is all text to prompting text to video, right? So if you want to make, I don't know, like people jumping on trampolines in the middle of summer, you can just say that, and then it'll just generally figure out a video on doing that. You know, you want to make like someone, you know, like a group of people climbing Mount Everest, and you just put that, and then it'll just throw whatever general description of what you put in relative small, in a smaller description, and then it'll just try to figure out something and give it to you. Most of the time it's pretty accurate. It's actually very scary sometimes to see what it comes up with. Sometimes you might be thinking of something, and then you type it and you text it in there in plain English, and you describe it as best you can. You can even be very, very brief about it, very, very slim in the description. But for some reason, you might think about it, of what you want to see, and then when you hit generate, you get the video, and then it almost looks exactly what you were thinking, that's the scary part, right? But if you want to take it to the next level and you want to make it more descriptive, have elements and all this and that, well, I've been structuring my videos based on a bunch of different ways of putting this together. And as you could see on the screen, there's some weird code or text, right? Well, I'm taking it based on more of like coding and programming, but not too crazy. I mean, this is still plain English, and you could still do it in plain English. Doesn't matter how you write it or even where you write it, because there's so many platforms right now, AI video generative platforms. I'm going to be using Google's Gemini Veo 3, which I think is the absolute best one so far. But I'm not going to do it directly on the platform. I'm first, I'm actually doing it on a notepad. So you could use whatever is comfortable for you, as far as if you like to, you know, if you're doing it directly on whatever program you're using, right? There's like Google Gemini, there's OpenAI Sora, there's Runway, there's like all these kinds. But I'm going to be using the Gemini Veo 3 because I think that one's pretty close to realistic video. Now, like I said, I'm going to be doing the prompting outside the platform, because I've noticed like sometimes I'll be writing the text, and then I'll accidentally hit enter, and then it just starts generating, you know. And just to avoid that, like, you know, accidental clicks or taps, I'll just do it in my notepad outside the system locally, and then start structuring everything. So if we check out, and then I'll just copy and paste it in there and generate it. So if we check out this prompt, right? Basically I have, let me just zoom in on it so you could see. We're gonna do a drone video, and it's gonna be so it's gonna be FPV. So FPV is like and this is just the title. You don't have to put this in the prompt. This is just something for me to kind of label and know what it is. But it's gonna be an FPV drone AI prompt, and it's gonna be on Mars. So I'm gonna make it weird. It's gonna make some weird stuff here. This is like stuff that hasn't been done before, and that's what's the beauty about artificial intelligent video generation. You could do crazy stuff. So like I said, the top part, I just keep it as a title and just for reference, because I'll probably build a lot of prompts within this notepad, and I could just separate them. It's almost like archive, folders within the notepad. So the structure is pretty simple. I mean, I try to bracket things out and separate them so then the program can understand what I'm talking about. Like I said, you can literally just write a paragraph like this and input it. But I like to see things more structured and kind of understand where things are. And we can start from the top. The top has, just to give you a rundown of what each of the elements, and I already generated a couple of videos with this prompt, so I can kind of show you this. This is kind of like a template for me, or foundation to start with. But the top is always going to be pretty much, and it's bracketed into one section, and then it's individually separated within that section, right? So description is the most important one, which is, and it's in a hierarchy, right? It's all like a hierarchy. So the description is pretty much the most important thing, and it's the most, it's like the gold or the brain and heart behind the whole video. Right? You want to put as much as you can in the description to make the AI understand what the hell you want, right? So we'll input that description here. Then I move on to style, right? So what kind of style do I want, right? Cinematic. Do I want it to be like realistic or cartoonish? Do I want it to be like 3D-ish, like 3D modeled? Whatever style you can think of. Like that's the style input. Camera would be kind of like the how you want the camera to view whatever you're shooting, right? Or whatever you're trying to make. And that could be something like a first person camera, or it could be the drone shot, or it could be focusing on something. So that's what we can play with in the camera. Lighting is going to be the way you want this to be lit, right? So you want it to be a dark place, you want it to be a light place, you want summer, you want winter, you want shadows, whatever you want to put in lighting, right? Focus, you put it in lighting. Environment is pretty much where the setting, where your video is taking place, right? So where do you want it in? Like in this particular video that we're making, it's going to be on Mars. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to input things that I don't even know what's on Mars. So I know it's red and all that, this rocks, but we could do some research for that. And then I close it, right? That's the first part, right? Part one. In part two, we got elements, right? So elements is kind of like things you want to reiterate from the first part. So elements could be like a rock, it could be sand. So whatever you described in your description, just reiterate it in elements, right? Focus on whatever elements are more profound for the video or more important, like emphasized. Make sure that the AI can understand those elements. And that could be, I put 3 here, but you can keep adding more, right? So we can add a fourth element, and so if you have a lot of elements, you can keep writing, right? And it's all kind of quoted, as you could see the structure. It's quoted, and then I'll write, and then I'll separate, and then I'll write the element within the quotes. So that's how I structure that. So it's elements. and then there's a colon, and then within the parentheses I'll put element 1, which is like rocks. Element 2 would be like I don't know, dirt. Element 3 would be, I don't know, like a sand, maybe a canyon, who knows. But I'll do that within the quotes. And then I'll close that. Part 2, elements. Part 3 is more of like what kind of motion I want the camera to do. So if there's any motion in the video. And this is an FPV video, there's going to be a lot of motion, right? So perhaps, is it fast? Is it slow? Are there any tilts or turns or anything motion? You put it in between input motion here, which is between the quotes. And then some kind of ending, right? So like if you want to start, this is all part of the heart of the description. So the ending is kind of like, how do you want it to end, right? So that I have the description that describes everything, but I want to emphasize on the ending, right? I want to make sure this video ends somewhere, or so it doesn't like loop or starts doing something crazy. So I want to make sure there's an ending. And then the ending is just the title. That's just emphasizing telling the AI ending, and then input ending here. And then I would just write, you know, maybe like the drone lands or something like that. And then you go from there, and then it ends. So that's part 3, section 3. And then section 4 is if you want to add captions, any text in there, right? You want to add any kind of text in the video. In this case, I usually put none because I could add that later. I usually add it later, but you could put text if you want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last portion are the keywords. So it's just like reiterating the whole entire scene of the video, right? Keywords, and it's kind of like separated, and then it begins again, like elements, keyword 1, keyword 2, keyword 3, and that could be something like what kind of, like, how do you want the drone or whatever it is to let's say like the drone has to fly a certain way. Keyword, you want to re-emphasize on its cinematic, right? So going back to style, it's cinematic. Going back to, for instance, details in the environment. Maybe going back to what kind of the motion, right? So make sure at the end, maybe slow motion or something like that. And you can add as many as you want, just to keep like massaging the AI and detailing out the AI to do what you want, right? So that's pretty much it as far as the structure. And then we can start building upon this. Let me zoom out a little bit. And let's just start building this and see what we get. It's interesting. It's always interesting to see what comes out. But the more you detail this out, the better it gets, right? I'm going to just start off. I just zoomed out so you can see the whole screen, and we're going to begin with the description. So like I said, I want an FPV. I'm thinking about, like this FPV is flying on Mars, which is right now it's impossible. It's a crazy theory concept, but it could be possible depending on what technology we have. But I just want to make it, see what happens, see how AI actually makes it, right? I don't know how the atmosphere is. I don't know, how a drone would even react on Mars. So we're just kind of rolling the dice here. So I'm going to begin with the description, right? So I'm going to go, let me see. And again, this is kind of like your imagination, whatever you want to write in here. You pretty much write. And the more you write, the more description you put on it, the better it is. The better it is. So let's do something like this. Let's start off with, so I want to ultra, and I'm terrible at writing. So you can imagine this is, if you're good at writing, if you're a good writer, if that's what you do, copyright, and you're a really good writer, and you're a really good English writer, and you know how to structure sentences, this is the job for you right now. I'm telling you, this is a gold mine right now, especially now it's all starting and everything's new. You can come up with, like, people can just come up with their own way of doing this. So, ultra fast, cinematic, and this is just remembering from other videos of how I start them, and then I'm just going to start, adding as I go and figuring it out. Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins, let me see here. We could say, begins above a towering towering orange reddish hill or mountain, let's say mountain on Mars. What else can we put here? Can we put maybe like let's put, and in the with the stars in the far distance, because I don't even know there's a moon. I think there's a moon, but I'm not too familiar with that. But something like, let's start with this. Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange reddish mountain with the stars in the distance. Oh, I forgot to put, did I erase Mars? Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange reddish mountain on Mars with the stars in the far distance, period. The camera dives. I'm just thinking, like, how do I, because I fly the drones too, so I'm trying to figure out like how the camera dives rapidly down the reddish Mars landscape, weaving through the Martian rocks. And what else can we put in there? Small canyons. Make sure I gotta put the capital in the end, but you don't have to really be super grammatically correct here. Try your best, but usually AI will pick it up because it's correcting itself pretty much if it doesn't understand a word. So ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a tower. That's why I said, if you're good at English, this is going to be a piece of cake for all you English grammar students or graduates. Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange reddish mountain on Mars with the stars in the far distance. The camera dives rapidly down the reddish Mars landscape, weaving through the Martian rocks and small canyons. Okay. The speed increases as the drone races through the narrow canyon gaps. Period. Or should we add more? Okay, hold on a sec. Gaps. Reaching a small base where one astronaut, astronaut, right, walking towards the American, let's do the American flag thing. So it looks kind of like an American flag. Or should we do let's do American flag. American flag, because like who's going to space after this? Are the Americans going, or who's going? I forget. Anyways. Let me see this. Installed on, actually let's do Argentina. Let's put Argentina on the map. Base where one astronaut walking towards the Argentina flag installed on the moon. The moon. I'm thinking on the moon. Installed on Mars. Walking towards the Argentina flag installed on Mars. On the Martian ground. So where are we at? The speed increases as the drone races through the narrow canyon gaps, reaching a small base where one astronaut walking towards the Argentina flag installed on Martian grounds. Let's see this. All right, so ultra fast. Let's go back and reread this because I'm trying to go back and forth here. So, ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange reddish mountain on Mars, with the stars in the far distance. The camera dives rapidly down the reddish Mars landscape, weaving through the Martian rocks and small canyons. The speed increases as the drone races through the narrow canyon gaps, reaching a small base where one astronaut walks towards the Argentina flag installed on the Martian grounds. I'm just gonna make it really freaking random right here, and see how it picks all this up. By the way, I'm drinking mate, so we're going with the Argentina flag. Inspired by the yerba mate. Installed on the Martian grounds. Cool. All right. We can all see that. All right. Go back. Finally, I think we can end it here. Finally, the drone slows down as it approaches the astronaut next to the Argentina flag. And makes a slow orbit around the astronaut and flag as the astronaut waves his hand. Hello. Boom. Period. All right. So I think that's good enough. I don't want to go too crazy here. All right. You can go for days with this thing. I mean, it's just on all 24 hours. So basically, this is what I wanted us to do. So let's reread. Let's zoom in on the description so we can all understand it. Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange. This is in my head. I'm trying to get it out into words. That's the slowdown in the bandwidth here, and I'm trying to get this stuff out into text and then be able to put it into a program to generate it and make a video out of it. That's the whole creative process, right? So, and I suck at wording this thing out. So let's see how good it gets it. Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange reddish mountain on Mars with the stars in the far distance. What does that mean? The drone should be coming in from the far distance, like at some random landscape, and it's going to be flying fast into this mountain, this orange reddish mountain, and it's just going to kind of be diving down and flying really fast down this mountain. This is what's in my head, right? And that's what I wrote. All right, so let's keep that in mind. Then I'm telling it to the camera dives rapidly down the reddish Mars landscape, right? So I've just said the drone dives right down into the landscape, waving through the Martian rocks. So as it goes, left and right, zigzag around the rocks, the Martian rocks, and small canyons, right? Maybe some canyons in there, gets in there, starts digging around, flying and ripping through the canyons. The speed increases, so it starts going faster as the drone races through the narrow canyon gaps. All right, so that's when it starts getting deeper into the canyon, reaching a small base. So and it's going to exit the canyon, all right? Kind of leave the canyon. It finishes flying through the canyon, reaching a small base where one astronaut walks towards the Argentina flag installed on the Martian ground. So it makes it to the base. There's some kind of base on Mars. There's an astronaut walking towards this flag that was installed on the ground, and it's the flag of Argentina. Okay. Finally, the drone slows down, so as it approaches the astronaut and the flag, the drone slows down and starts orbiting somehow. It kind of does a turn around the astronaut and flag as the astronaut says hello or something like that. And that's what I'm thinking, either this or this. And that's it. That's all I wanted to do. It's going to be 8 seconds too, by the way. Gemini is currently at 8 seconds. So you can't make it too long. So 8 seconds for this should be enough, I think. Based on some other ones that it did. This was fair. All right, so that's description. The most important part out of the whole thing. And now, I can take that, what I wrote, just the description, from ultra fast to hello, and then dump that into whatever program, and then see what happens. And whatever it comes out, right? But I'm gonna go deeper. I'm gonna start going deep into the details, so then I can make sure that what I want is what I get. All right, so now I'm gonna go into style. We're gonna go into style now. So in style, which we're gonna input style here within the quotes. What kind of style, right? What kind of drone style, style of video do I want? So I said I wanted some. Excuse me. I wanted some sort of cinematic, but I also wanted to be some in some way. I want it to be realistic, and I've been using something called also with a commercial style twist to it. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to do cinematic, hyper realistic with a commercial twist, which the commercial twist is gonna be like something, you know, maybe funky, or, you know, it's got that, you know, when Coca-Cola does some stuff, or maybe Red Bull, or it's got like a twist to it. It's got like a something interesting in it. So that's the, and then hyper realistic cinematic is just like, it's very movie-ish, Hollywood. And then hyper realistic is a word that's being used to kind of emphasize for it to be almost real life in a way. So that's my style. That's what I want for style. Now I can move into camera. So what kind of camera am I emphasizing for this video? So like I said, I want it to be dynamic in a way. I want it to be a drone shot. I want it to fly fast. I want it to fly through something. So we could say something around like dynamic. So I want it to be very dynamic, first person drone shot, right? So I'm trying to get that first person, you're in the drone, or it could be the drone outside, you're seeing the drone fly, or it could be inside the drone as it flies, first person, dynamic, what else? Fly through, right? So let's see here. Fast fly through. And and then at the end ends in a slow reveal with astronaut in focus. All right, so we understand like the camera is going through actions based on the description, based on the hierarchy. The dynamic first person shot, fast fly through, ends in slow reveal with astronaut in focus at the end. So that's the camera's kind of like step 1, 2, and 3. So that this is all going kind of like, if you're understanding, it's based on hierarchy, and it's based on steps from your description, right? So every time you roll back the tape in your mind, you're rolling back the video that you're playing in your mind, and you're trying to get this out into text. Every time you roll it back and you go and you detail out exactly what you want. So for the lighting, now we can go into lighting. Let's put well, it's Mars, right? So it's dark space, pretty much. It's a reddish orange Mars surface, right? It's lit up by, I'm guessing, the sun's light. There's no atmosphere. I'm guessing it's kind of, see, I'm thinking something like the moon, right? Like from what I remember. That's why I want to go raw on this, because I want it to be based on what I remember in my head, and then whatever this thing spits out. So let me fix the sun. So dark space, reddish orange Mars surface lit up by the sun's light. Doesn't make any sense, but let's see what happens. And then I also want, in the lighting portion, I want reflections. This is what I remember in my head of what I want in the astronaut. I want reflections on astronaut's visor. Just remember like Apollo 11 and the visor, that big visor. Astronaut's visor as the drone orbits and rotates around the astronaut's helmet visor in final shot. Boom. All right, so that's and like I said, we can separate. Let me separate this so we can see it. There we go. So that was part 1, and this is part 2. Description, style, camera, lighting, environment. That's all the styles here. All the structure for the we're still missing environment. We have to put environment. But so far so good. I mean, we got some kind of structure. Right? We got the full description, which is the most important part. It's the heart and mind. Then we have the style, cinematic, hyper realistic. I want the camera to be dynamic, first person drone shot, fly through. I want the lighting to be in space or dark space, reddish orange Mars surface for Mars, the planet, lit up by the sun's light, reflections on the astronauts. To remember, I want a visor helmet reflection during the drone shot close up as it rotates. And now for the environment, what are we going to put for the environment? What are we going to put for the environment here? Environment. So Mars surface and dark space. Again, reddish orange hills, mountains. Rocks, small canyons, and I guess the surface is like powdery, right? So can we put surface and powdered surface? Did I spell it right? I spelled it wrong. Okay, it's powdered surface. And that's part 1, section 1. I think it's pretty much complete. So we got the description. Ultra fast cinematic drone shot begins above a towering orange reddish mountain on Mars with the stars in the far distance. The drone camera dives rapidly down the reddish Mars landscape, weaving through the Martian rocks and small canyons. The speed increases as the drone races through the narrow canyon gaps, reaching a small base where one astronaut walks towards the Argentina flag installed on the Martian grounds. Finally, the drone slows down as it approaches the astronaut next to the Argentina flag and makes a slow orbit around the astronaut and flag as the astronaut waves his hand hello. Done. Style. I want a cinematic, hyper realistic with a commercial twist. Camera. Dynamic first person drone shot, fast fly through, ends in slow reveal with astronaut in focus. Lighting. Dark space, reddish orange Mars, surface lit up by the sun's light. Reflections on astronaut's visor as the drone orbits and rotates around the astronaut's helmet, visor, and final shot. Environment. Mars surface and dark space. Reddish orange hills, mountains, rocks, small canyons, and powdered surface. All right. Now we move on to elements. All right. And we're going to begin with element 1. So what do we want? What do we want in elements, right? We're talking about element could be Mars. It could be reddish orange hills, reddish orange mountains. I'm going to make copies of this because I'm going deep here. So we're going until I end this, until I feel like I'm satisfied with elements. We got rocks. We got, what do we got? Astronaut with suit, We have the Argentina flag with pole. It's on the ground. We have a small the base. Let's make it metallic base. Mars base. Oh, small small canyon. Small canyons. And that's it. I think that's it. That's good enough. That's good enough for now. All right. So that's elements, right? We got elements. Move in here so you can see elements. Beautiful. And now we're going to move into motion. So what I want in motion, this is how the drone is going to be flying, how the video is going to be in motion, and how the viewer is going to see it. So what I'm thinking is motion. Let's continue back to rolling I'm going to rewind the tape and I'm going to go back. So very high speed aerial flight, transitioning to slow motion near the ending. Smooth camera tilts, close to Martian rocks and canyons, fly-throughs, of course, final glide to the astronaut, or hover, final glide hover to the astronaut. And that should be good enough for the motion. And now we're gonna finalize it with the ending in this section. So how do I want it to end? Again, emphasize on the ending, right? What do we want in the ending? We want to see the astronaut, we want to see the flag, and we want it to kind of hover and just chill there. So camera slowly rotates and focuses around the astronaut as it approaches the Argentina flag. Camera slowly rotates and focuses around the astronaut as it approaches the Argentina flag. That's it. That's all I want to end. Period. Done. Period. Make sure these got periods in it. Period. Period. And period. Is that period? Yeah. There's some little things you gotta just check. Make sure this has the Argentina flag there. Man, I wonder how this looks interesting. See here, just go back and check words, speed, very high speed. And now we're down to, so text, do I want text? I don't want any text in it. I want this to be pure video. And now we're down to keywords. We're finalizing this out. We're closing up the video here. So keywords, so you can see the whole thing, is basically like in keywords I put, for instance, like the ratio of the video. So like I want this to be 16:9. This is gonna be the ratio of the video. So landscape. I want, again, drone fly through. Oh, I can say 4K if you want 4K resolution, but I don't think it's going to spit it out in 4K. I haven't seen it in 4K yet. I want it to be ultra fast. So this is just kind of re-emphasizing the most important things of the details of the video for the keywords. Let me make more copies of the keywords. I want again, no text. I want Mars details. I want cinematic, very important. Make it cinematic. Make sure it's slow motion at the end. Drone fly through. And then what else? Drone fly through. And space lighting, of course. We know we're in space. Oh, and of course the icing on the cake, right? The astronaut with Argentina flag visual. And I think that'll do it. I think we're good. I'm just gonna review this really quick. And as you can see, this is how it's structured. It started with like a little tiny thing, but the thing is, when you start adding more details into each of these things, you start building your structure, you start building your code, you start building your prompt, you start building your new language. This is the AI generated prompt language we're all kind of starting to get accustomed to, because we can generate anything with these platforms. So this is how we communicate with these platforms. It could be like this. It could be just plain English. Like I said, you could just literally just take the description of this notepad that I've created and just take the description and just dump that into let's say Gemini right now, or whatever platform you want to use, and then see what it spits out. But this is more like a structured prompt. So we have the description, we have the style, camera, lighting, environment. We have the elements, we have the motion of the camera movement, we have the ending, we don't want any text, and then we have the keywords, which are important for the overall structure and details of the video. So now I'm going to copy this whole prompt up to the brackets, just open bracket, close bracket. I'm not going to use the FPV drone AI title, because that's just for my behind the scenes. That's for me to remember what this prompt is. So I'm just going to copy that, and then I'm going to open up Gemini. So this is Google Gemini Veo 3, and I am going to hit on video, generate with Veo 3. And it's telling me right here, like I said, this is right now 8 seconds worth of video with sound. So this is also going to generate some sound. I didn't put any details on the sound. I just want to see what it does. We'll find out. Right now there's two versions of Gemini. There's 2.5 Flash and 2.5 Pro. So we're gonna just use one of them, and I've been using, I think, Flash for most of the stuff. So I'm gonna copy the prompt that I just wrote in Notepad and paste it into where it says describe your video. And like I said, you could just literally just write just plain English here. You don't have to do any coding or anything. But I'm gonna drop this whole structure in here, and as you can see, there's the whole thing. Okay. And now I'm gonna just hit submit, and it's gonna start thinking. And this might take a little bit. It says it's generating the video. This can take up to 1 to 2 minutes. So very interesting. It's always, this part is the most exciting part because you don't know what it's gonna do. You know, like you don't know what it's gonna generate, and you're like, will it get it? Will it figure it out? Will it make the video that I'm thinking in my head? And most of the times it does. Most of the times it does. Sometimes it's a little funky. It adds things. It's not perfect, but it's very, very good. It's very, very good. So let's just wait on that. It also has sound. So we're going to get some sound from this thing. And there it is. All right, so we see the first visual. It's Mars. And let's play it. Let's see what it is. Let me zoom in on it. Make it a little bit bigger. There it is. And let's play it. There's a little drone. There's a little guy and the Argentina flag. That's actually, it's really, really close to what I was thinking. That's amazing. That's really amazing. And I think it has, I don't even know if it has some sound. Can you hear the sound? Yeah. Really cool. Really cool. I mean, it's very close. And these are the results. I mean, this is what it actually produced based on the description and everything that we wrote on it. So, astronaut on Mars, Argentina flag. So the Argentina astronauts are the first ever to walk or set foot on Mars. And it flies through you see the mountain, you have the canyon, the surface of Mars, red, orange, you got the rocks, you got the space, you got the space sky, the lighting, you got the base in the background. And then the drone does that smooth, fast, and then slows down, which is another thing. I don't know about the so there's apparently wind. We have some wind on Mars, which I didn't put on there, but I'm guessing like because of the wind, because of it's a flag, it thinks that the wind, there needs to be some kind of wind there. And then you see there's like a drone just hovering right after the canyon. And those are the little things that right now you can go back and then continue to kind of improve on, and you can fix, like you could say, you know, remove the drone from after the canyon, or you want to improve and say like, don't make the flag wave and there's no wind on the surface of Mars, so don't put any wind. Although I think there is some wind. You could say like on the astronaut, maybe put a patch, like a space patch or another Argentina flag patch in there. But it's pretty darn good, man. This is incredible footage, video that it just produced. So I'll try to put the template for this in the description. I don't know if it's gonna format correctly, but if you do want it, I can probably put a link. Let me know in the comments below, and then I'll just make a template, and then maybe I can send it to you guys.